do is, if you're trying to build around barriers, especially because you're using Soulbound, I would use Conceited plus potentially Accelerating, because you're always using your core skills. I've been changing armor rolls to other things this whole time. That's why my armor is so bad without Juggernaut. I have too much focus on the max life, willpower, damage, I guess. Yeah, damage, as nice as it is to build damage, it definitely, like, you have to find the balance out in survivability, right? Because in your Paragon boards, you do have a lot of stuff with resistances. Plus, like, I mean, we'll just pull up Thunderstruck as an example. Maybe no bad example. Go away. Let's pull up one of the werewolf or werebear ones. Fuck it, Inner Beast. So Inner Beast has like armor in these nodes, right? Plus an extra 100 armor for willpower or whatever. So you're almost more than guaranteed to take something like that. So this one alone comes with a, if it doesn't get boosted by more intelligence, then you have 250 armor just from that. But if you get the extra boost, then you have 350 armor. So that's not bad. But that's 350 free armor just chilling in your Paragon board if you're going through and selecting stuff and all that jazz, right? So yeah, so we've got that. Let's look at the other stuff. We're not worried about that. We're not worried about doing lightning skills. Yeah, because I mean, there's other aspects that you could do, because you're just doing fizz damage with poison damage accentuated into it, right? You're not trying to switch your druid to doing lightning damage as a shred druid, right? Just pure crit focused. Because if anything, retaliation, fizz damage plus damage against poison enemies. Yeah, so retaliation wouldn't be bad because that's another 30% core skill damage. Again, you're getting fortify from bulwark, plus your wolves have a high chance to fortify you for percentage of your life. So long as you're getting huge damage leech from masochist as well as bolster. Now, this is the thing, you're not relying on these, so if anything, you could choose to double up on this, but if you hit earth and bulwark, and this is where we have extra points to like invest into, right? So if you want a bigger shield off of bulwark and for it to kind of guaranteed last a little longer, go ahead and max that out. 63% on top of for the barrier, then you get an 18% fortify on top of another 15% here, so that's not bad. Dropper window thinking it was my where would the AoE damage come from? Well, shred hits in an area, right? It's not just single target, it attacks in an area.
Aries_infernal cheered 100. I bought a wooden whistle, but it wouldn't whistle, so I bought a steel whistle, but it's steel wooden whistle, so I bought a lead whistle, but it's steel wooden lead me whistle. Okay, now I'm done.
Aries, thank you for the biddies, my guy. So yeah, again, shred brings because it attacks in an area, right? But it's when you have the extra poison damage, you'll get that from incorporating the minions into it. So we're also going to make a ring here and a ring here. We're looking for shepherds plus stampede, and then gloves. We're not using ping orders, we don't care about that, and we're definitely not using those, so you're automatically guaranteed to put an aspect here. Again, you could do accelerating for another 25% critical or not critical strike, attack speed increase, which just means you're upping your attacks more, right? So then we can look at the actual stats and everything, because again, to Baltz and Soulbrand, you're getting 14 without any boosts, and if you get perfect rolls in it, you get 28% DR from damage to close enemies, and then another 20 from the soul brand, and then the 15% DR there. So if your armor is high enough, this is how I would have this set up. And then this, I fucking, let's take a look. Stop it. No, 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 no. This would kind of be a tough one, because if you're not getting vulnerable from anything else, you could put on aspect of Curse Touch or use exploit, kind of depends. But if you are hitting so much that you apply a vampiric curse to them, you make them vulnerable, then you kind of get that free vulnerable cast whenever hitting stuff. So you could do this and getting that 20% vulnerable damage, right, on top of whatever other pool of damage you get. So I mean, it's just another free source of damage. You could do a Cursed Touch. I'd say that it'd probably be between the two. A Cursed Touch. Oh wait, no, shit. Blurred Beast. Why the hell not? Because that's also something that will help you. So like, let's say you hit, what is it called? Let's say you hit, literally anything. You hit, Poison Creeper, causes the poison, you hit them with Claw, you hit them with Shred, and they crit or just hit regardless, then you're applying a poison to them, right? And so those poisons being applied makes your Shred not only do more damage, period, but it also, while you're doing the Shred and dashing, I think it does hit all targets. I think, I'm not quite sure exactly how that works, but I do know that's just a 40% raw increase in damage. So realistically, even if you were going to switch this aspect to something else that was up here, like accelerating for more attack speed, or even what the fuck was it called? I can't even think of anything here realistically. Everything else, yeah. No, you're just netting more damage. Yeah. Yeah, I would just stick with Blurred Beast on the gloves. And then we're probably gonna go with in the gems. Probably emeralds for crit damage. And then where we're at right now, and it also depends on what affixes you get on your jewelry, because you could look for fire resistance, light poison, shadow, whatever you're low in. But that leaves us a couple of places to put armor slash other stuff like that. So if you have to temper it on, but like boots, you could put another 1700 armor there plus max life, and if you so chose to, you could do willpower, but you could probably do some resistance of some kind if you really need it. You could also do spirit per second if you were looking for more spirit generation. And boots are kind of a holder for good like survivable stuff, especially when it's like, oh well shit, I need 40 more cold res even though I've got all this jewelry filled up with this or that or whatever, right? But armor wise, even before really doing anything, just the gear that we have in, we already have, at least with this is saying we have 6500 armor. So I mean, like I was saying, if you have the capabilities to, then put all of these with skulls, because even just doing that, we went from 66 to 70, 80, 100. So skulls are important. I mean, that's those are royal skulls, of course. Even if you were going down a step, that's still 375 armor per, which is more. One skull is more than this entire Paragon node, even if this was boosted fully, right? So that's still a lot of armor to get. But now that the cap for armor is a little bit lower, plus being at that 80-100, if we came into here and did percent armor on our amulet, even if it rolled at 12, 0.5. You're still just shy of the armor cap, and that's without paragon points. That's without rolling armor on anything else, like going to your skull and putting a tempering for more total armor or whatever, right? Like there are places to put it. And especially since we're going for shred being the thing that's really important. What even do we have here? So let's see. Werewolf attack speed, probably. You could even go with like werewolf critical strike chance because it was kind of finessed in there. So yeah, they keep your brain in. You're funny. What else do we have here? Fucking if you're looking for extra movement speed, especially while you're in werewolf form, digitigrade never killed anybody, and especially since you get a 6 to 4 on it, that's really good. I know what we can do with your skull. Jesus Christ, chill. Horny, you're horny. But what else do we do? I probably close damage to close, because it doesn't look like they have damage to poisoned, which would make sense, right? But so probably just damage to close. Boop. And then other stuff on here, we go for the attack speed. Don't really necessarily need cooldown reduction. Probably want to go with resource cost reduction. Realistically, Envenom would be your biggest one to go with. Just because woof. Always. Crit strike chance, crit damage. Stop it. Spirit on kill. Honestly, though, want to do crit damage there, more than likely, depending again how much critical strike chance you have. If you're doing low on life, like right now this is at 9,700 life, this, if we do this, puts us up even more, puts us up 14% of whatever 14% of 97 is, 9,700. But if you want the 5% critical strike chance, you can go with it. That takes you from a 14.5, and that's just going off of the one ring that we have there, and the stat that you get from Dex. Speaking of skulls, that skull shredder weapon in the new Doom launch fit. Oh yeah, dude, the Doom Dark Ages period. Like, come on, man. It looks dope as hell. Period. But yeah, no, the fucking skull like thorn shit, like just spitting out everything. The fucking shield. The fact that we got a Doom mech now, that thing looked fucking crazy. But yeah, so we could do. Again, if we still need more max life, we can get it on our rings. Plus tempering, we're still going to go with the damage to close enemies. Plus probably resource cost reduction on our rings, because then you get more shreds, right? And then realistically, if you were going to put an uber unique on this, you could replace Stampede, because while you lose 1, 2, 3, you lose 30% damage from shepherds, you get Starless, which is another 40% damage increase, right? So if you wanted to, you could create a fucking Starless guys in there for that up to 40% resource cost reduction and damage increase. Plus you get lucky hit, crit, and core damage. So like Starless is just GG's. You get a Starless on there, that would be your best in slot. But until then, it doesn't hurt to roll with Stampede until that time. But like, because like, yeah, you lose out on damage to close, but you literally get resource cost reduction built into the uber power. You get these crit powers, you lose life. That's pretty much it, because even Starless has double all res, so that also helps your resistances stay up. So you can probably stay away from putting in gems in here, maybe, right? And I mean, we haven't even put powers on the helm or the rest of the boots, other stuff like that, right? And I do know that after a certain point, you do want to double dip into specific buckets of damage. So like, while this does damage to healthy, and we'll have like willpower plus crit damage plus probably raw damage. And then this will go cooldown reduction plus because realistically you're looking for as much cooldown reduction as you can get for Earth and Bulwark, right? That's entirely the only reason why you want cooldown reduction. So this comes with that 15% extra cooldown reduction, takes you a couple of points off. I am curious if this is reflecting in that though. Where the hell did it go? No, it's not. So yeah, willpower plus. And even if you didn't go with cooldown reduction and you went with critical strike chance and more resource cost, because resource cost is important. Again, until you get Starless or you choose to do something else, you just have more built-in resource cost reduction, so you're still able to spam more shreds. Maul, Pulverize, Grizzly Rage. And oh yeah, you also have these built-in shred does more critical strike damage. It is kind of stupid that there's no like extra like, oh, you want to just do this when though you have to feed into an elemental damage type. It's kind of annoying. But shred critical strike chance up by another 6%. My message disappeared. What message disappeared? What message disappeared? Finally tempered a ring I've been wanting for a week. Then your message was like, no. And then probably werewolf attack speed, honestly. Because that's another 11% attack speed, which is higher than other attack speeds that you can get to roll, I do believe. Let me look real quick before I go spouting out bullshit. Well, yeah, actually, because that's a tempered attack speed roll instead of a roll, which only goes to 9. Yeah, so sorry for hijacking your theory craft. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Did you DM me on here? Is that what you're saying? You sent me a message or that your message disappeared? What are you even going on about, Zach? What are we at attack speed wise though? Attack speed bonus 9%. We only have 9%. That's not accounting for the werewolf attack speed. So you're at 20% attack speed. You were talking to me. Oh, you're fine. I'm here to answer your questions or anything like that. You're just fine. In fact, like I can keep going, right? That's the whole like theory crafting, talking about stuff, all that jazz. My fucking brain starts going, and then I'm like, man, I need water. That also reminds me we didn't put any temperings on here, which we're probably going to go for shred critical strike chance. So we're already at a 28.5% crit strike chance on top of another 12% shred if you do get that. So you're at a 40% for shred. Yes. And then again, if we want more attack speed, we can go with that, but it's probably better to keep building that damage to close. I really wish I could find a good calculator to fucking do the math on some of this stuff so I could actually do this. Is there a reason for the one hand with offhand against two hand? Personally, attack speed. Doing a shred build or a basic attack build or something like that, your attack speed is just faster. But also it gives you 2 damage aspects to put on. If you did one, the best one that you could probably do is put this one on a 2-hander. And if you were going to do a 2-hander, you'd have to do a staff because you're not really overpowering with a werewolf. Like you could if you put Banished Lords here, but because we're not really focusing on that, I personally feel like it's better for attack speed purposes, but also just raw damage output. Like you could hit harder with a staff, but in an aspect that has more like boost to it. Like I'd probably put the amulet on the staff and then choose one of these to put on the amulet. Is there a greater affix for best in slot on the weapon offhand? Probably. I would more than likely say like, oh, what the fuck? That is not what I clicked. Yeah, I would probably say like either crit damage or vulnerable damage, depending on whatever one a weapon comes with. Because again, like we said, there's only a certain amount of crit strike damage you want before it doesn't do anything really extra. and you want to start getting those extra buckets like vulnerable damage. But I also feel like maybe the roll to damage itself could be something else, because damage rolls on stuff, I've never seen any guides really tell you to go for raw damage. Then again, I mean, I haven't been perusing a whole lot of guides since we've been making our own, right? And this is before you start master working and everything like that. Max life would be good, especially since we only have it on a couple of pieces of gear. Like we have max life there, no max life on our pants, which is kind of huge, but we have max life on our boots, our ring. And again, if you do have total armor being in a good place, then you've got this here. And this is also if this rolled the bare minimum. If you have a 19.5 in that slot, then you're over the armor cap and you're fine. What I do like is that in here they actually made it to where it says this 9230 armor is required for maximum reduction against level 100 enemies and beyond. They actually made it to where it wasn't like, is this insinuating that I need more armor past this or higher level mobs? No, now it's the way that it is. Is there only 2 affixes on boot? Or no, I haven't finished putting everything everywhere yet. So yeah, there's only 2 affixes because we did armor and life, and it's really balancing out where we need our resistances to be as well. So do we do willpower or movement speed, or do we put a resistance on in that kind of aspect, right? Because we could also temper another one on. So they should have done the armor tooltip at the launch of season 4. Big facts. Absolutely should have. But then there's also what we could put in here as well for movement speed. So we have digitigrade gate there. At a certain point, you hit a cap of movement speed, right? Where is it at? 200% movement speed bonus. So this one isn't going to be able to calculate it efficiently because you're technically getting 36% movement speed while in werewolf form. Exactly right. So we don't really need to put digitigrade on here, plus or movement speed on anything else. While extra movement speed is nice to have, you don't necessarily need it. So I mean, really, these stats plus these temperings can be whatever you really need. So realistically, I'd probably just do like a movement speed plus a. This is the one dumb thing about this. Probably barrier generation, especially because you're using Soul Brand. And then we'll put modifier in here for like resistance. So we'll just choose one and go with it. Realistically, you do have a lot of poison resistance ones you can go with. So we're going to avoid taking poison resistance. So probably one of the important ones like fire, lightning, or cold. So with this one, because of what we're wearing gear wise, we're already at 19 fires. So let's go with like lightning. So lightning on the boots. The gloves, we're going to temper with more probably damage to close plus. Because, I mean, if we go with an extra attack speed chance, we're already at what? 11, 20, 29. And then the actual attacks from being able to use, because these are fast weapons. Plus we're probably more barrier generation. And then this is also the trade-off too. If you like, we need shred on our gloves for sure. Ranks to shred, probably greater affix because 4 is going to be the best. Critical strike chance and probably critical strike damage. So we have a 36% chance to critically strike without the extra modifiers of 6% shred, 6% shred, and so we have another 12 on top of 36. We're at almost a 50% chance to crit every single time we cast shred. And then let's see. For your armor, you're definitely going to put in rubies. Royal ruby, royal ruby, royal ruby, and then royal ruby, royal ruby. If you wanted to, did I get my package yet? I don't think so yet, Swathi. I'll have to go out and check the mail because I don't. I wake up after the mail gets delivered, and I didn't go outside today. But I also didn't know that it was sent already. But I'll let you know. Believe me, if anything, you'll be the first person to know. I'll send it with a picture. Me with a big ass grin. Motherfucking big brain. Oh, how you doing, Swathi? How's your night going, sunshine? Oh, my fucking back needs to pop, but it won't. Well, that's halfway there. Oh. And then let's see. Crit, shred. Because, I mean, don't get me wrong, willpower is doing a lot for us, but we'll get a lot of willpower based off of our Paragon boards. I sent you a surprise with it. Now I'm scared. I may or may not have put a bomb in it as well. What'd you send? It is going to be a surprise for you guys. I'll just you guys will see. The surprise might be just for me. I don't know. We're gonna find out on that. But if I open it and it explodes and I'm not here, well, yeah, I'm sorry. But no, the surprise, I'm actually kind of happy about it. So don't ruin it, Swathi. Everybody will find out about it later. But I'm actually kind of happy about it because it's going to be a cool little like channel point redemption thing. Dragon dildo, boyoing. Hoping I can see you live. Let me know. Poke your head in. I'll hold on to it, and then just poke your head in whenever you're not live, because I'll probably save it for Friday if I get it before then, because then I'll open it. I'll be starting stream like way sooner before. And I'll shoot you a message just to let you know. But then if you poke your head in, then we'll do it. But I would love to either get a clip or something for it. If the surprise is against TOS. So I'll open it down here and then I'll show you guys what it is. But no, I would love to absolutely get a reaction for that just for you. Thanks so much. Oh, of course, Dragon, we got you. And of course, this is with unupgraded gear, right? No, like, I mean, yeah, we can go through and go, oh, this would be a perfect aspect to have, or this. And I mean, this isn't even including if you do get these with actually like boosted stats. Just one of these sends you up to a 40% chance. That's not even including the extra 12. So you're at 52%. And let's say this critical strike chance goes up, and this critical strike chance goes up, and this critical strike chance goes up. You're at a 50%. Period. So then all of that plus, I mean, your damage going up even more as well. Like let's just say all of this happens, right? Like realistically, at the end of the day, it's just going to be a fucking, it sounds like it's going to be gnarly, right? We want it to be gnarly. But this is, of course, if you can find greater affixes with these, as well as like the life that gets boosted, the attack speed as well, because now we're at 22% versus the 11 plus, well, the extra 11 that we got because we only really needed a little bit more. So that's 33%. And that's not to include, I would, nah, I think that's okay. Plus the extra damage from there when we go unstoppable, because that lasts for 5 seconds. Yeah. Plus you get your resource back, so burn all of your resource and then fucking pop your unstoppable, yada yada yada. Plus this actually could roll extra armor as well, plus the extra attack speed. So that right now puts this above the armor cap, which will allow us to take some of these out. So like, let's say I need cold res, boom, off camera here's holy fuck. No, I'd make sure the box is sitting right here. Like I said, I already got so much shit that this is gonna be fucking funny and crazy, but we're gonna figure it out. What were you saying about the plane plus damage bonuses on gear with the conditional ones like crit? I do believe so. I do believe damage bucket stats would be better. It's just the fact that you can have one or the other, or you can have both. But like I can't do damage and then do vulnerable because I already chose critical strike damage. So it's certain modifiers are exclusive. That's why it's like, is it better to focus 45% damage or extra 1300 life? It's a bag of dicks, isn't it? I will figure it out. Can neither confirm nor deny. Plus, I don't know what the surprise is, hence why it's a surprise. So I'm actually kind of surprised. I'm actually kind of giddy. It feels like it's going to be my birthday in the middle of the year. So you can do damage modifiers exclusively, but when it comes to like say you are critting so goddamn much that losing 9% isn't going to like affect you a whole lot. Well, then you could replace that critical strike chance with like a damage stat if you wanted to, or more life. Say you need more life, because that is also a possibility. Because you also have to think about the what is it called? You have to think about what could happen with your rolls, right? Like, yeah, we're getting all these extra armor here. Technically, I don't need 2600 armor if we're that high above the cap. So I could technically drop it off, and actually, no, probably should keep it. Oops. But it also depends on if you have this 29% roll here. We haven't even done anything to the helm yet, which we'll get to in a second. But just going through putting greater affixes on just to see what all of the stats would look like at a crazy amount, right? So this is at 20.2 and this is at 20.2. Plus you get more resource, plus you get barrier generation, plus you have lucky hit chance. So if you are doing anything that involves lucky hit, like your wolves feed off of your stats, so in turn they actually have a higher lucky hit chance to fortify you more, which then bleeds into the